Hello, I'm Kieran Baines and welcome to the Tactics Room as we look at this Sunday's A-League Grand Final. Now I'd like to stand here and say why it'll be a close game on Sunday, but the truth is it shouldn't be. Perth benefited from a bad Mariners performance last Saturday and got a lot of luck, but even that won't be enough this time. When we look at the start of the last game, Perth were allowed to knock the ball around the back freely, giving them confidence. Brisbane just don't allow this to happen. Berisha and Enrique chase down from the front, ably supported by midfielders Nichols and Madoka. Teams cannot get into a groove easily, Brisbane win the ball back and then don't easily give it away. Now many of us got excited about Thomas Rogic this season, but he showed on Saturday it was too soon for him to have the chief creative role. Raw's playmaker is of course Broich, and though he hasn't performed in the Champions League, against the lesser defenders and athletes in the A-League, he loves play going through him, and often it's to great effect. A reason Brisbane will hurt the Glory more than the Mariners did is the added firepower they possess. Perth always give their opponents chances, and Brisbane are more likely to take them when they get them. As well as the penalty on Saturday, there were gilt-edged chances for Adam Kwasnick. Berisha has scored 19 A-League goals this year. If he gets one of these chances, he'll reach 20. In addition to being more accurate shooters, Brisbane also make it easier in the last third by giving players more options. When the Mariners got in this position on the right flank against the Glory, they had one option, maybe two. Compare this to Brisbane, where the ball player always has 3 or 4 runs to help him. On this occasion, it's Mitch Nichols who benefits. Now when an upset happens, it's usually because the better team takes the other one lightly and is forced out of the way it wants to play. The Central Coast started very poorly against Perth. They got into a habit of hitting hopeful passes that didn't find their target. Raw are lucky in that they've already had their bad game against Perth, a game where the Glory disrupted them and the Raw stopped playing their way. Afterwards, Ange called his team's display cowardly, and yet they still drew 3-3. One thing you can guarantee they'll not do this time is change the way they play. The other factor Glory fans might cling to would be Brisbane freezing at home on the big stage and not playing up to their capability. Well, that happened somewhat last year. Are they really like to play worse in this grand final against worse opposition? Brisbane know what not to do. They've experienced doing the wrong thing and yet still came through. That's important. Brisbane will play their way, passing from the back, even if they give up a goal doing it at some stage. The overall effect will be to overwhelm Perth, mentally and physically, and they should win on Sunday by 3 or 4 goals. But one possible grain of comfort for Perth. 25 years ago, a team in orange also went into a cup final as big favourites. That was Dundee United, and they were beaten 1-0 by St Mirren. And St Mirren's scorer that day, Glory coach Ian Ferguson.